48 hours. In a court of law, that's what we call proximity. It's the smoking gun right before the gunshot. It's the defendant's fingerprints all over the fucking murder weapon. Charlie Kirk tells his donors to shove their $2 million up their ass, says he's done with the pro-Israel ass kissing, and bam! Next thing you know, the guy's zipped up in a fucking bag. You think that's a coincidence? You think this is some random act of God? You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is motive. Plain and simple. This is the kind of evidence a prosecutor dreams about. It's a direct line from the threat, cutting off the money, to the execution. He says in a group chat, and this ain't no rumor, this is Exhibit A, the fucking receipts, he writes, "I just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year, 'cause I won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace." You see what he's doing there? He's not just making a choice. He's building a new alliance. An alliance based on truth, not paychecks. An alliance they couldn't control. He was taking their power away piece by piece, and that scared the living shit out of them. This wasn't a policy disagreement. This was a coup against his own handlers.
It wasn't just a business decision, Vinny. It was a fucking declaration of war. A rookie mistake, if you ask me. You don't tell the mob you're leaving, you just disappear. But Charlie, he had to make a statement. Look at the next text. This is the part that signs his death warrant. He writes, and I'm quoting the dead man here, "Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I can't and won't be bullied. I'm out of the pro-Israel cause." You understand what he did there? He didn't just walk away from the money. He called them out. He took their whole fucking playbook, their tactics of bullying and control, and threw it right back in their faces. In their world, a world of shadows and influence. You don't do that. You don't expose the game. That's the one rule you never, ever break. It's like being a made man and deciding you're going to go to the feds. You don't get a retirement party. You get a meeting in a basement. He didn't just quit the team. He threatened to burn the whole stadium down, and they couldn't have that. It was never about the $2 million. It was about the message. If he could walk away, then anyone could. He had to be made an example of.
And what happens right after he says this, after he grows a spine of steel and stands up for himself? One of his own people, this Sedona character in the chat, immediately tries to shut him down. "Please do not invite Candace. Please?" This isn't a polite request, it's a warning. It's a plea from a co-conspirator who knows the rules. She follows it up. It might feel good short-term, but it's not good long-term. You know what that sounds like to me in a courtroom? That sounds like someone who has knowledge of a threat. That's a veiled threat from inside his own fucking camp. Not good long-term isn't about poll numbers, folks. It's about your fucking life expectancy. They weren't trying to advise him, they were trying to manage him. They were trying to put the leash back on, and when they realized they couldn't, that he was truly off the reservation, the problem had to be eliminated. This text isn't just a disagreement. It's evidence of a conspiracy. It shows knowledge of the danger. It shows the pressure cooker he was in, not from his enemies, but from his so-called friends.
You know what really fries my ass, Vinny? It's the fucking silence. It's the cleanest part of the con. It's louder than the gunshot. Nobody from TPUSA says a fucking word. Nobody in his inner circle, and his own fucking wife. Erica Kirk's out here like nothing happened. No press conferences, no demands for justice. She ain't crying. She ain't calling for an investigation. She ain't even fucking curious. People are asking questions about a Romanian brothel charity and her parents' ties to Raytheon, and what do we get? Crickets. It's unnatural. It's the kind of silence that's bought and paid for with a fat check or enforced by the fear of ending up like her husband. And these weren't whisperers, bro. These were motherfucking internal messages. Screenshots from a group chat with other high-up TPUSA pricks like Josh Hammer, a guy who writes books on Israel, and they're all acting like Charlie didn't say shit. Like those last 48 hours never fucking existed. They're trying to erase his final act of defiance. They're memory holding his courage because it implicates them all. They took the silver. Charlie took the lead.
You want to talk red fucking flags? This whole case is a fucking cover-up carnival. A three-ring circus of bullshit. First, the autopsy. Oh, there was one, they say, but guess what? It's classified. You're not allowed to see it. What the fuck kind of banana republic horse shit is that? An autopsy in a public assassination is a public document? What are you hiding? The bullet caliber? The entry wound? The fact that it doesn't match your phony story? They're hiding the cause of death. Then you got the mural of Charlie painted in Tel Aviv within 24 hours. What the fuck? They had the brushes ready? That's not a tribute, that's a claim of ownership. It's a territorial pissing. It's a message to everyone else. He was ours, even in death. And don't you forget it. And let's not forget the miracle bullet. The story that the bullet that killed him went through brick but got stopped by his fucking neck. What is he, Superman now? This is the kind of story you tell a 5-year-old, not the American public. They're not just lying to us. They're insulting our intelligence. They're daring us to call them on their bullshit because they think they're untouchable. Well, guess what? You're not.
And through all this bullshit, who's the only one still fighting? Candace Owens. The one person they tried to make Charlie get rid of is the only one loyal enough to his memory to risk her own neck. Let that sink in. The entire conservative media landscape, Fox News, Daily Wire, Newsmax, they're all silent. Crickets. You got 7 other people on that chat thread, and they're all silent as a fucking grave. They've all clammed up. You know why? Because they know what really went down. They're either scared shitless or they're in on it. They saw what happened to the guy who spoke up, and they made their choice. They chose to live on their knees. Charlie turns on the donors, turns toward truth, and boom, he's deleted. And Candace, who they fucking hate, is the only one with enough fucking spine to show the world what happened. And what does she get? Attacked, dismissed, labeled crazy. It's the standard playbook. When you can't attack the evidence, you attack the person. It's what they do to anyone who gets too close to the truth.
Well, let's talk about the wife for a second, because this is where any prosecutor worth his salt would start digging. The public records are a fucking nightmare. This Romanian orphan charity that turns out to be tied to a fucking brothel and a human trafficking ring, that's not some internet rumor. That's a documented fact. Her mom's knee-deep in defense contracts. Her dad's got links to Raytheon, allegedly, in Israel. Ain't that a cozy little cocktail of corruption? This is what we call a massive conflict of interest. A conflict of interest with a body count. So you have a guy who's about to blow the lid off the military-industrial complex and the pro-Eshel lobby, and his own wife's family tree is rooted in that exact swamp. You think that's a coincidence? I've sent people to the chair for less circumstantial evidence than that. In any legitimate homicide investigation, the spouse is the first person you look at. You look at their connections, their finances, their motive. And right now, the motive is screaming at us from a mile away.
So let's spell it out for the slow folks in the back. This ain't a mystery, it's a business transaction. Charlie was an asset, a very valuable one. When he followed the script, he was worth millions, maybe billions in influence. When he decided to write his own lines, he became a liability. And in their world, liabilities get written off permanently. It's just like balancing the books at the end of the quarter. The asset wasn't performing, so it was liquidated. That's all this was. It wasn't personal, it was just business. The people who should be screaming from the rooftops are the ones cashing the checks. It's the oldest story in the book. The whole game is rigged. They build you up, they put you on a pedestal, and they own you. The moment you remember you have a soul, the moment you decide to stand for something other than their bottom line, they cash you out. This time they just cashed him out for good.
You fucking sheep better wake the fuck up. This wasn't no accident. This wasn't no confused kid with a gun. This was a message. Loud and motherfucking clear. A professionally executed hit designed to send a chill down the spine of anyone else who thinks about stepping out of line. Cross us, and you're done. That's the game now, and they're playing for keeps.
And if you think they won't come after the next guy who speaks up, you're fucking dreaming. They'll silence you with bullets, with shame, with media blackouts, with whatever it fucking takes. They have the money, the power, and the lack of a conscience to do it. But this one ain't going away. Not on our fucking watch.
Charlie Kirk. 48 hours after telling the machine to go fuck itself, he ends up dead. With receipts. You can ignore the signs, you can pretend this is all a coincidence, or you can open your fucking eyes. But make no mistake, this case ain't over. Not by a long fucking shot.
Rest in peace, Charlie. You went out standing up. And to the cowards staying quiet, we see you, we fucking see you.
You heard it, you felt it. Now don't just sit there like a bunch of mopes. Smash that fucking like button, drop a comment, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next time we blow the lid off this shit.
And share the video, spread it around. They want this story buried, and the only way it stays alive is if you keep passing it on. Chris Dallas, Celebrity Recreations, the only one saying what everybody else is too scared to say.